Good afternoon and welcome to the Moore County Schools Board of Education regular business meeting on Monday, January 12th, 2026. We're called to order at 4 o'clock. Is there a motion to go into closed session for the purposes as stated on the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Dr. Dahl. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Bruno. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We'll now go into closed session. Oh. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. It was motion by Dr. Dahl, second by Mrs. Bruno. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes. Okay. We'll now go into closed session. Thank you. right, board members, is there a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
All
Oh,
right,
she beat me to it. I'll second.
all right. Motion by Dr. Dahl, second by Ms. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. We'll call to order at
We have Mr.
I
5:31.
heard Mr. Hensley. Do we have Mr. Benway?
And Mr. Hensley online both?
Mr. Hensley is, Mr. Benway has not called in yet, I've texted him,
Okay.
Ken Benway.
there he is.
Well, there is.
is now joining the conference.
All right.
Mr. Benway, we just.
I
voted-
voted yes.
Thank you. Mr. Benway, we just voted to go back into open session, do you have a vote for that?
I do. Yay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Davis. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for attending tonight's Board of Education meeting. As we begin, I'd like to remind all our attendees of the importance of maintaining a respectful environment throughout our proceedings. This ensures that our board members can focus on the matters at hand and that everyone present can hear and participate. Your cooperation helps us conduct our business efficiently, and we're very thoughtful of all participants. Of course, during our recognition of the meeting, applause is welcome to show support of our award recipients, and we appreciate your cooperation. Mr. Hensley and Mr. Benway are joining us by conference phone. So now we're at item number 2, call to order, and we have our pledge from Southern Middle. Do we have Ms. Bear here? Okay, Ms. Bear, if you'll come up and introduce your students.
Good evening. I am thrilled to announce we have 2 wonderful Southern Middle students here to lead us in the pledge and to offer some words of inspiration. We have Addison, come on up. She's going to lead us in the pledge, and CJ, come on up and he will lead us and share some inspiration.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. How's everybody doing today? That's good. I am here today to say my inspiration in both my academics and my life. And with that being said, for me, my inspiration are my siblings. The reason I say them is because I'm the oldest, so I understand that whatever I do or say, they will most likely follow suit. Due to that, I strive to do great in all aspects of my life and school so that they can be great as well. Another reason why it's them is because they're my biggest cheerleaders. For example, my little sister, Serenity, she'll always cheer me on whether I'm playing basketball or I'm just simply building a pillow for her at the house. She's always there, rooting for me, making me strive to be great. While, as for my little brother, Isaiah, he stays more on the quieter side of things. But, aside from myself, he's one of my hardest critics. So the day that he says, I did great or I did something amazing, that is what I strive for most. But those 2 will forever be my biggest cheerleaders, and I know they will always be in my corner when I need them most. They are my inspiration.
Thank you both. You're leaders already.
Yeah,
And Ms. Davis, if you'll lead us in a moment of silence.
I will. Well done, Mr. Payton, and well done, Mama. All right, if everyone would please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And we're at item 3, recognitions. I'll turn it over to Mr. Batchelor.
Thank you, Board Chair Dr. Calcutt. First, could we have Addison and CJ please join our board members at the front? As a token of appreciation, we are presenting these students with certificates for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance and a wonderful inspiration this evening. At this time, would Ms. Perez and Ms. Singley from Aberdeen Elementary please join Board Vice Chair Davis and Board Member Johnson at the front. Ms. Perez is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for Aberdeen Elementary School. Ms. Perez is a fourth grade teacher whose commitment to professional growth is evident in her classroom each day. Her effective lesson planning and strong instructional delivery create a well-structured learning environment where students are consistently engaged. She brings enthusiasm, honesty, and reliability to her work and is a strong supporter of school initiatives. Ms. Perez's positive attitude and teamwork make her a valued member at Aberdeen Elementary staff. Ms. Singley is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff Honoree for Aberdeen Elementary School. Ms. Singley serves as an instructional assistant working primarily with kindergarten students. She approaches each day with focus and dedication, supporting instruction while responding to the many needs that arise in a busy classroom setting. Her positive demeanor and willingness to assist wherever needed help maintain a smooth and productive learning environment. Ms. Singley's consistency, kindness, and professionalism make her an important part of the school's daily success. Would family members and Principal Krinsicki please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. At this time, will Kristen and Shannon from Connect Academy please join our board members at the front. Kristen Gardner is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for Connect Academy. Ms. Gardner serves as the school counselor supporting students across grades K through 12 in both blend ed and virtual programs. She manages a demanding schedule that includes classroom guidance, student check-ins, academic planning, and graduation support across multiple locations. Ms. Gardner transitions seamlessly between supporting younger students and assisting high school seniors with post-secondary planning. Her organization, responsiveness, and dedication ensure students receive timely guidance throughout the school year, and her service to Connect Academy is greatly appreciated. Shannon Fox is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff Honoree for Connect Academy. Ms. Fox serves as the data manager, bookkeeper, receptionist, and primary point of contact for Connect Academy. Since joining this school year, she has taken on a wide range of responsibilities, including enrollment support, family communication, financial management, and parent portal assistance. Her ability to learn complex systems quickly and manage multiple duties efficiently has made a significant impact. Ms. Fox's behind-the-scenes work helps keep daily operations running smoothly, and her efforts are sincerely appreciated. With family members and Principal Burr, please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. At this time, with Shelley and Brittany from Southern Middle School, please join our board members at the front. Shelley Sweeney is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Certified Staff Honoree for Southern Middle School. Known as Coach Sweeney, Mrs. Sweeney serves Southern Middle as a physical education teacher and a dedicated leader within the school. Beyond her instructional responsibility, she plays a key role in supporting PBIS initiatives and coordinating school-wide activities. She also leads a 6th grade reading group during Dragon Time, helping students strengthen essential literacy skills. Mrs. Sweeney's consistent involvement and willingness to go above and beyond make her a vital member of the Dragon team. Brittany Barber is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Support Staff Honoree for Southern Middle School. Miss Barber is more than a cafeteria team member. She is the heart of the lunchroom and a true champion for our students. With a smile that brightens the room, she serves not only nourishing meals, but also daily warmth and encouragement. Her pride in her work and the care she shows to both students and staff reflect her deep commitment to the school. We are fortunate to have such a dedicated and valued team member. Would family members and Principal Bear please stand as we recognize tonight's honorees. At this time, with Heba from Connect Academy, please join our board members at the front. Heba, am I saying that right? Heba, whew, I'm so sorry. Heba Ibrahim is this month's Engage, Inspire, Succeed Student Honoree for Connect Academy. A senior at Connect Academy, she is recognized for her outstanding academic performance and dedication to learning. She has earned a 4.38 GPA while completing honors and dual enrollment coursework throughout high school. Heba is also working toward an Associate of Science degree at Sandhills Community College. In addition to her academic pursuits, she enjoys reading, writing, art, baking, fitness activities, and playing the bass guitar. She demonstrates the character Connect Academy seeks to instill in students through her work ethic, responsibility, teamwork, and respectful manner. Her positive contributions to the school community are greatly appreciated. Would family members and Principal Burr please stand as we recognize tonight's honoree. We have additional room. You were just kidding. Yeah. And tonight we have a few additional recognitions. At this time, would our holiday card winners please join our board members at the front? Okay. Tonight, we celebrate these students for winning this year's holiday card contest. Our elementary school winner is Josie Thompson from Aberdeen Elementary School. Our middle school winner is Olame Gibbons from High Falls Elementary School. And our high school winners are Zemina Velasquez Ulandoza, I hope I got that right, and Carly Wallace, both from Northmore High School. These young artists showcase creativity and talent in our holiday card contest, and our artistic contributions have brought joy and warmth to our community during this festive season. Thank you to everyone who participated, and congratulations once again to all of our winners. And at this time, would Director Costin from Union Pines please join our board members at the front? The UP Stage Theater program earned top honors at the North Carolina Theater Conference, NCTC, State High School Play Festival, winning the Distinguished Play Award by Judges' Choice for their production of Widows and Vegetables. This prestigious recognition qualifies the Vikings to represent North Carolina at the Southeastern Theater Conference Convention in Chattanooga, Tennessee in March. Director Chase Costin and the talented students showcased outstanding creativity, teamwork, and performance excellence. Congratulations to UP Stage Theater on this remarkable statewide achievement, and best of luck representing North Carolina next month. And at this time, would our NCASBO honorees please join our board members at the front? Anna Simmons from the Community Learning Center at Pinckney, Monica McDonald from Southern Pines Elementary School, Jordan Robinson from West End Elementary School, Stephanie Stevens from Pinehurst Elementary School, Shannon Fox from Connect Academy, and Wendy Dunlap from Northmore High School have successfully completed the North Carolina Association of School Business Officials, also known as NCASBO, Treasurers Academy certification. The program includes sessions on topics such as school finance law, internal controls, general accounting concepts, and many other subjects crucial to school bookkeeping. The primary focus of the NCASBO Academy is to nurture future leaders in school finance and human resources. Their accomplishments will significantly contribute to enhancing school business procedures at Moore County Schools. You are invaluable assets to our schools, and we congratulate you on your success. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to your exemplary work. You two are done. All right. Y'all are done. Y'all are done. I am not. And at this time, I would like to hand it over to Superintendent Dr. Locklear for special recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. We heard the words unwavering commitment, and speaking of that, I'm honored to take this moment on behalf of our entire school district to express our heartfelt appreciation and recognition for the work that each of our school board members do each and every day. January is School Board Appreciation Month, and I'm honored to share our gratitude as a school district community for what you do. Through hours and hours of working through policy, budget, strategic planning, you set the path for roughly 13,000 students across our 24 schools. Your unwavering commitment and tireless dedication helps to set the foundation for our district's continued success. We call it the Moore County Schools Way. You navigate complex decisions, advocate for students and staff, provide invaluable guidance that ensures our district continues to be one of the best in the state of North Carolina and nation. Through your leadership and support, we've achieved significant milestones, upheld high educational standards, and maintained a nurturing, inclusive environment for our students to strive. The countless hours you invest, the thoughtful deliberations you engage in, and the passion you bring to your roles have a profound impact on the lives of our students and broader community. As superintendent, I'm immensely grateful for your support and partnership. As a token of appreciation from our schools, you see that there's cards and messages at your board table today that students have placed for you to enjoy, and to just a little small token of say thank you. Once again, thank you for your dedication to the students, staff, and families of Moore County Schools. Can we give them, please, a round of applause?
And on behalf of the board, it's an honor and a privilege for us to serve. Thank you very much for being here. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. All right, I'd like to call the Board of Education meeting back into session. At this time, we're at item 4, consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Dr. Dahl. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Davis. There's a motion to approve.
I have discussion on this. I just want to make sure you don't move right, because normally we just move right to a vote, but since there's a motion on the floor, I have discussion items.
Okay, right now we have a motion by Dr. Dahl and we have a second by Ms. Davis. Is there any discussion?
Yes, I have discussion.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Hensley.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to vote against the consent agenda, and here's why. On the consent agenda is the promotion of our interim chief to permanent chief, and I just want to make the following points. This is being done without conducting interviews, without any interviews of anyone else for the position. I believe due to past controversies with the Moore County School Police, which have not been resolved to this day, that perhaps it would be very wise to look at bringing outside leadership and fresh blood into our department. This is being done, and this is no offense to Dr. Locklear, who we all know is retiring, but you know, the interim, I just got the invitation today, the interim superintendent takes over in 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, and it seems like who the new chief is going forward, that should be a decision of the new superintendent. I would point out, and this is not a private personnel matter because it happened in open session. But I would like to point out that the interim chief appeared in front of the school board 3 or 4 months ago. It was during a committee report, I believe, on the SROs. And the interim chief stood up there and made accusations, well, they were against me, about social media posts that I allegedly made that, you know, his assertion was, if I recall correctly, affected the morale of his people. And, you know, I listened to what he said, and when it was my turn to ask questions, I asked him if he had actually seen the social media posts that I made, and he very, you know, showing his integrity, he said no, he had not seen them, but he heard about them. And then I asked him and again, I'm doing this from memory, but this is pretty close. I said, well, you know, my social media post had nothing to do with the officers. You know, it was the leadership and just kind of the fact that, you know, the organization of the department. And then, you know, I think we got to ask, you know, do we want a chief of police who makes public accusations based upon hearsay without actually seeing the underlying source documents? The last point I would make is, unfortunately, this has to be handled this way because up until the new policy that was just passed and when implemented in the board, which prohibits an individual member from removing something from the consent agenda, we have to do it this way, which is very unfortunate. So
Mr. Hensley, let me remind you to stay germane to the topic. Remember to stay germane to the topic, please, sir.
That's my final point. I was like literally in my closing. You interrupted me in my closing sentence. I was in the middle of saying, for those reasons, I am voting against the consent agenda. And that's very unfortunate that I have to vote against the entire consent agenda due to this new policy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other discussion? All right.
I'm going to comment that
Yes, ma'am.
logically, it seems to me that an assertion that social media posts are detrimental to morale does not require observing the posts. It only requires observing the effect on morale. So therefore, there's no dishonesty there.
Thank you, Dr. Dahl. Any other discussion? Mr. Johnson.
Well, I just wanted to point out that Mr. Hensley had the opportunity to pull this from the consent agenda and declined to ask the board to pull it from the consent agenda. So we never had an opportunity to vote on that because it was never proposed.
All right. Any other discussion?
Yeah, so any board member can propose to pull something off the consent agenda, and if right, and if there are two others that join them in that, then it can be pulled off, but he didn't propose to do that. So
All right. Any other discussion? All right.
My round two discussions.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
And maybe Pauline or Ken has something to say too, but I can't speak for them. So going back to Ms. Dahl's assertion that if what she said doesn't even make sense. If a social media post is detrimental to morale, you just look at the effect on morale. But that wasn't my argument. My argument was I never made the post that he claimed that I made, and that a chief of police should make public accusations based upon facts, not hearsay. And what Ms. Dahl did was a complete misdirection and mischaracterized my argument. Let me make it clear again, because I said it very clear. A chief of police, or really any officer, should make public accusations based upon facts that they have seen, not hearsay. And that's not what happened. I mean, he admitted in open session that he hadn't seen the post. And then I said, well, I didn't say that. And he goes, oh, well, then I changed my mind, or however that was said. Anyone can go watch the video, or, maybe I'll post it online later on and people can judge for themselves. As for Mr. Johnson's observation about I had the opportunity to have this removed from the consent agenda, I'm out of the country, and I didn't know that this was on the personnel report until we were in closed session, and everyone knows that because I said that. And, this new policy, it's unclear how it works. I mean, first of all, it takes 3 people to remove something from the consent agenda. I don't know whether 3 people want to do it or not. So, yes, I had options. I could have made a motion to modify the agenda. I guess I could have made a motion to pull this off the consent agenda, and then we could have discussed it then, and I could have made these points, or I could have handled it now. This seemed to be the easiest and quickest way to do it with a minimal interruption. But either way, it's really a distinction without any difference because it would have had the same effect. People can vote for the consent agenda, or they can not vote for the consent agenda, or they could, if I made a motion to remove it from the consent agenda, they could vote for it or not. So it's really a distinction without a difference.
All right, any other
So
discussion?
those are my 2 points. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley. Any other discussion? Okay, Ms. Bruno.
The only thing that bothers me about this is we have a superintendent that's leaving, and I think that new superintendent should be the one to pick our chief. I'm a firm believer in supporting our own. I'm a firm believer in taking care of our own. I think Chief Gooch is absolutely wonderful, but I really think that this is the new superintendent's choice.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Any other discussion? Dr. Dahl? Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Benway, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to register that my concerns were purely of a procedural matter. I thought that more interviews should have been conducted, but that concern about that procedure doesn't rise to the level that I would oppose the consent agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Dahl? Did you have anything? I'm
I
sorry.
just want to reiterate something that I said in closed session. We have a wonderful superintendent. He is still our superintendent. I don't see any validity to trying to say that he cannot act as superintendent. You know, he has a job to do, and we should trust and support him in doing his job. And we're long overdue having a chief for the Moore County Schools Police.
All right. Thank you very much. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of passing the consent agenda, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
And that was Mr. Benway. All
Yeah.
opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion passes 5-2. All right, we're at item 5, public address to the board. Ms. Davis, do we have any speakers tonight?
We do. We have two. I'll call them in order. Erica Davis and Jim Peterson. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready, and just, if the timer goes off, your time will be up.
I'm done,
But
yes.
Go ahead. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to talk fast. Good evening. I was surprised to learn that the board appears committed to building a fourth high school as the primary solution to overcrowding and facility concerns at Pinecrest and Union Pines. At no point was it made clear that this had become the preferred or final decision, and there had been no dedicated meetings, surveys, presentations for parents or the broader community. Even more concerning is that this plan is expected to go before voters in November through a bond referendum without meaningful engagement from the families most affected or clear discussion with the county commissioners who are responsible for this funding. While the cost of purchasing land and constructing a new building is relatively straightforward, what has not been clearly presented is a side-by-side comparison of the long-term financial implications of different options. I'm asking for transparency around what is included in the renovation and modernization estimates, how those figures were developed, and what systems or improvements they will cover. Specifically, the community needs to see a comparison between building a new high school and renovating 2 existing ones, versus fully renovating and modernizing our current high schools, including the long-term operational costs of running 4 high schools versus 3. It seems reasonable to ask whether maintaining 3 buildings may be more financially stable, over time. While overcrowding is real, simply moving students around does not fix aging infrastructure or rising operating costs. At the same time, parents are paying out of pocket for things like athletic uniforms and equipment because operating budgets are so tight. I fully support fundraising for above and beyond opportunities, but families should not be expected to fund the basic necessities required to operate our schools and our programs. Staffing is another very serious concern. The district currently has 66 open positions. A 4th high school requires an entirely new staff: administrators, counselors, cafeteria workers, custodians, bus drivers, coaches, specialized teachers for AP and honors classes, CTE, arts, electives, EC programs. In a geographically large county like ours, teachers simply cannot be split between schools, even if the enrollment numbers suggested on paper, as the state does. I also believe we need a clearer understanding of capacity data. With many juniors and seniors attending Sandhills Community College through dual enrollment, and with Northmore High School currently under capacity, enrollment numbers alone do not tell the full story. These factors should be part of the capacity conversation. Finally, the student experience matters. Will all students continue to have equitable access to advanced courses, electives, extracurriculars, athletics, and the arts? And can our small community realistically support 4 high schools when families, businesses, and volunteers are already very stretched? I strongly support public education, and I want to support a thoughtful, equitable, and sustainable solution. But I cannot support a decision of this magnitude without transparency, clear communication, and genuine community involvement. I respectfully urge the board to slow this process, engage directly with families and the county commissioners, clearly present all of our options and long-term costs, and work collaboratively with the community before asking taxpayers to vote. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Jim Peterson, and I've been coming to these for a while. I thought it was funny. I thought of it the other day. I'm the Moore County self-appointed watchdog of Moore County Schools. I needed something to do when I left the county. I'm kind of semi-retired, so that's what I've been doing. But a couple of things. I had one thing I wanted to say. Now I have 2 after listening to the talk about the consent agenda. I'll talk about that one first. Consistency in leadership and management. Consistency matters. And what I hope I'm not off base here, but what I heard was there seems to be a rush to promote a new chief without interviewing any other candidates. I think that should be consistent across the board in hiring practices. Why not promote Ms. Purvis here to superintendent without hiring a company and going through a slew of candidates? I think it should have consistency on that. And then law enforcement, what was discussed a minute ago, I didn't have this to talk about, but now I will. Law enforcement knows facts and hearsay, someone's going to be the chief, they should know the difference, whether it's on social media, spoken word, or what. Hearsay and facts are different. And, hearsay doesn't really hold up in court as far as I know. But the other thing I did want to come here about, I know you guys all know this, but I just wanted to reiterate it. Just because something is legal doesn't always mean it's ethical. And ethics and optics always matter. The perception matters. Perception and optics matter. So just want to say that and hope everyone could be mindful of those. Thank you.
All right, that concludes our public address to the board. We're at item 6, board action. We'll begin with design services for new high school endorsement of SFLNA. Dr. Locklear.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we had a great discussion, extensive discussion on this matter at our work session last week. This is to recommend that SFLNA would be awarded the contract for design services for our potential new high school to address the capacity issues that we know, significant capacity issues that we know we've had at Union Pines and Pinecrest for many, many years. This was requested from our commissioners that we get some data, information, timeline information, cost information. And so in order to get that to our commissioners for potential inclusion in the bond in November 2026, we needed to be able to work with an architectural firm to do that. So Ms. Purvis brought this to the board, addressed this, as well as SFLNA also did a presentation. This does come with my recommendation for approval, pending final legal review of the contract. So anything else you want to add, Ms. Purvis?
No, I would just remind the board that the $8.8 million is a fixed cost that represents about 5.6% of the overall building. If this were to come to fruition, that $8.8 million is in no way owed if the bond does not pass. And so SFLNA has committed to supplying us with cost estimates, renderings that are needed, pre-bond, and no money will be owed if the bond does not pass.
Thank you, Ms. Purvis. The superintendent recommends, and is there a motion to consider the award of the contract for architectural design services to SFLNA Architecture in the amount of $8.8 million, pending the passage of the November 2026 bond and final legal review of the contract? Do we have a motion? So moved. Motion by Ms. Davis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Dahl. Is there any discussion?
Yes. Normally, let me say this. Normally, when a central office member is given a presentation, there's kind of like a presentation, and there's a question and answer period on the presentation before we move on to the motion. So I would ask a little bit of deference here, because there's new information that wasn't available during the work session that's changed between the work session and now, and that's specifically the ethics paragraphs that were added to the contract. And I think it's important that the public know the safeguards that we put in there. So I would ask Ms. Purvis to pull the appropriate paragraphs. I think there's 610 and 611 to show the public the ethics provisions that we put in the contract. I think it's very important that the public see those and that we publicly review those to instill confidence in this process.
All right, Mr. Hensley, they're pulling up the contract, and Ms. Purvis will take it from here.
Yep. So,
thank you.
610 of the contract, architect agrees to thoroughly review the roles of each employee involved in the performance of this agreement and to require the same of all consultants, subcontractors, or other parties providing services for the architect under this agreement. In the event that any personnel are determined to have a conflict of interest, real or apparent, architects shall exclude said personnel from providing services under this agreement. Architect shall disclose any and all conflicts of interest, real or apparent, in writing to owner, and remedial steps by architect or its consultants, subcontractors, or other parties providing services for the architect under this agreement. And Charlie, I'd ask that you just go back to 2.1.5, which also addresses this same concern that the board had, but just in a different place and a little different wording. All right. The architect shall require each of its consultants or subcontractors to execute an agreement certifying that the consultant or subcontractor has read and is thoroughly familiar with the terms of this agreement, and that the pertinent provisions of this agreement shall govern the work performed by the consultant or subcontractor. Prior to entering into a contract with the consultant or subcontractor, the architect shall provide notice to the owner's designee of the consultant or the subcontractor. If owner, for any legitimate and non-discriminatory reason, rejects such consultant or subcontractor, the architect shall find a replacement and shall not enter into a contract with such consultant or subcontractor and provide services under this agreement. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much.
And then we've got one more,
Oh, sorry,
Chair
my fault.
That's all right.
my fault.
611, architect understands that payment under this agreement is only due upon passage of the 2026 bond referendum or the owner's receipt of sufficient funding for the project's purpose. In order to avoid a conflict of interest or the appearance of a conflict of interest, including to the extent one exists under North Carolina statute or any other laws or regulations, the architect hereby agrees to the fullest extent permitted by law that the architect, its principals, and partners will not donate any corporate or private funds to any PAC 5013 nonprofit committee or any form of advocacy group dedicated to the passage of the 2026 Moore County bond referendum. Additionally, architect hereby agrees to the fullest extent permitted by law that architect, its principals, and its partners will not donate to any corporate or private funds to any candidate for either Moore County Board of Education or the Moore County Board of Commissioners if such contribution is made during this term of agreement. Architect hereby acknowledges its duty to comply with and agree that these are reasonable restrictions to maintain a professional working relationship with the owner, and hereby waives any claims against the owner that such restrictions violate the First Amendment or any other law. In the interest of clarity, this restriction does not extend to any individual employees of the architect. However, the architect shall not make any attempts to work around or take any actions to avoid the requirements of this clause. That's it. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Ms. Purvis. Any other discussion?
Yes, now I would like to make my discussion points real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm going to vote for this and support it, and I will tell you why. First of all, Ms. Purvis negotiated the correct deal. As she said, it's a fixed cost. It's a relatively fixed cost given the magnitude of the project. And the preliminary work's done up front with no obligation. As she said, we're not obligated for anything until when or if the bond issue passes. Ms. Purvis has stated, and I have great trust and confidence in Ms. Purvis, that she worked with them on the greatly reduced cost of renovating the Northmore gyms, and she had a very positive, if not excellent, experience working with the person who's going to be the lead architect on this. And then, as we just heard, we wrote in, you know, there have been some allegations against the architect firm, and, you know, true or not, you know, I just want to guard against any, appearance of impropriety. So, you know, the board passed, and we wrote in protections in the contract against nepotism, against making donations to Moore County politicians, relevant Moore County politicians. And that, unlike the previous time, you know, they're not going to, as is a practice, by the way, regular practice, neither SFLA or their subs are going to contribute to the marketing campaign in support of the bond issue. In short, you know, the bond issue is an internal Moore County issue, and we don't want outside people pouring money in it to put their thumb on the scale. So with these built-in protections, with Ms. Purvis's positive experiences, and with the correct contract, I support this. And I also believe that, the last sentence of paragraph 611 is very relevant. That the architect shall make no attempts to work around or take any actions to avoid the requirements of this clause. And look, you cannot write an airtight contract because, the person's brother, sister, dog, bird, makes the donations. But I trust that SFLA will honor the spirit and intent of this. And if not, then, people will be watching. So again, I am in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley. Any other discussion? Dr. Dahl?
I had the privilege to be on the interview committee. Were we a committee or a group, whatever, to interview SFLNA and 2 other architects. And probably everybody in this room has seen reported that the choice of SFLNA was a unanimous decision. We did not talk to each other. We all sat down and we looked at a rubric that Ms. Purvis had provided us. And I remember going through that rubric and checking off each thing, and they came out on top in every item in the rubric. And, you all know how Ms. Purvis operates. Everything on the rubric was relevant. The use of a prototype and the fact that they had built the prototype 6 times, so they had the opportunity to see how it worked in practice and get the bugs out. The design that they presented itself had a lot of features that showed an understanding of what it takes to monitor high school students and keep them safe. There were just a whole lot of things, and they came out on top in every one, and they were unanimously ranked the highest by everybody on the committee. There was, just no contest, and so I am very happy that we are able to engage them for this project. And then I've had the opportunity to walk around one of the high schools last Friday, and recovering from surgery as I am, I have not recovered from all that walking. But it was really exciting to me to walk around and I know one of your first names and one of your last names, sorry. But these guys who were sitting here walked around with us and carefully noted everything that we were concerned about. So I'm just very excited about this process and the fact that we have engaged this firm, and wanted to comment on that.
Thank you, Dr. Dahl. Any other discussion?
I had a couple notes as a Pinecrest parent. Just wanted to say, reiterate again that this was a very smart approach to this contract. I really like the contingency contract, that no payment will happen unless we get those funds in a school bond. I want to say thanks to Jenny, Tim, the construction committee, and the folks that were on the selection committee for the speed with which this happened. This has happened quite quickly and over the holidays, and so I just want to acknowledge that. Also with the speed, I think it's important to note that we're moving quickly on this because our Board of Commissioners have requested us to move quickly on this and to put this on the November bond. They saw our needs at Union Pines and Pinecrest. They've been over capacity for years, if not decades, and so I appreciate their support in moving this critical work forward. One thing that I am mindful of, and I think we need to be very mindful of, is because of the speed of this process, we really need to immediately do our due diligence quickly on engaging our community, Union Pines and Pinecrest communities directly and immediately, gathering feedback on this process, on the different positive impacts that can happen as a result of not just a new high school. But I would also like to state that in my opinion, we shouldn't build a new high school without putting due diligence to the renovation and modernization at Union Pines and Pinecrest High School. That those things should be hand in hand and talked about at the same time. These are schools that are bedrocks of our community. I feel very deeply about, of course, Pinecrest High School, and of course we've got long-standing relationships with Union Pines High School. And just to move forward with complete transparency on that and make sure we're engaging actively with the community to make sure that we shape this, even though we're moving quickly, that we need to do this the right way. Couple of the notes that I just jotted down. I'd also like to encourage us as part of this process to really immediately start thinking about scheduling some time with our Board of Commissioners. I would like to have at least 2 meetings with them prior to November to make sure we're all on the same page, we get all the answers to questions, we engage fully and transparently in public with them, I just think that's important, not just for our board to do the right work, but also to make sure that it's done publicly and transparently in front of taxpayers, that we're going to ask to vote for this in the fall, should this bond referendum take place. So that's a lot of hard work, and we got a lot of time, not a lot of time, we have a little bit of time to do it, but I just want to reiterate that I'm all in on this. Believe very deeply that we need to make this happen. If we got an opportunity to make it happen on behalf of our students, our staff, and our families, I'm willing to offer any time and energy I can to make sure that it happens. So thank you all for your hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. We're at the time for voting. Are all members that are in favor of awarding the contract for architectural design services to SFL&A Architecture in the amount of $8.8 million pending the passage of the November 2026 bond and final legal review of the contract, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Hensley, did you vote? Okay.
Yeah, I thought, Mr. Hensley, are you there?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, I voted yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, motion carries. 7.
Thank
That's
All right,
7-0,
thank you,
correct?
ma'am.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mrs. Purvis.
We're at item B, amending fiscal year 2025-26 budget resolution for second quarter. Dr. Locklear.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Evans presented on Tuesday the amendments that need to take place for the second quarter. With the second quarter budget resolution, this does come with my recommendation for approval. Certainly happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the amended fiscal year 2025-26 budget resolution for the second quarter as presented? Do we have a motion? So moved. Motion by Dr. Dahl. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Johnson. Are there any discussion points? Any discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approving the amended fiscal year 2025-26 budget resolution for the second quarter as presented, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
Okay. So Mr. Benway was an aye and Mr.
Was an
Hensley was
aye.
an nay. Motion passes 6-1 with Mr. Hensley as the nay. All right, we're at item C, endorsement to gather public comment for the 2027-28 school calendar. Dr. Locklear.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Sinan's unfortunately unable to be with us tonight, but on her behalf, she presented this last week. This, again, is the school calendar for the 2027-2028 school year. As you know, we work to have a calendar out 2 years ahead for our parents, and we utilize, based on policy and regulation, a school calendar committee that consists of stakeholders internally and externally to come up with those recommendations. Those recommendations for the calendar are driven by current school calendar law, and that information was shared last week and is on the executive summary. This endorsement by the board is simply to gather feedback on the proposed 2027-2028 school calendar. In the past, the board has had some discussion about not following the school calendar law. I have not recommended that as your superintendent because it breaks the law, but there has been discussion about that with an early start calendar. We know that based on feedback we've gathered multiple years from the community, overwhelmingly, our community, internally and externally, supports that. However, I have not recommended it because it doesn't follow the school calendar law. If the board chooses to consider that again this year, we could certainly bring that calendar for the 27-28 year back when you're considering approval of the calendar. This is not approving the calendar. This is simply, again, approving getting feedback on this calendar developed by the calendar committee that follows current law. So it does come in my recommendation. This survey will be sent out to our community and run through, I believe, January 30th.
Okay.
And it opens tonight or tomorrow, right?
It open tomorrow. We'll get information out and it would open tomorrow.
All right, do we have a motion to endorse the placement of the draft calendar for the 2027-28 school year on the Moore County Schools website for public comment and feedback from January 13th through the 30th, 2026. Do we have a motion? Motion by Dr. Dahl. Do we have a second? Okay. Second by Ms. Bruno and Ms. Davis. We'll give it to Ms. Bruno. All right. Are there any discussion? All right. Hearing none. All those in favor of endorsing the placement of the draft calendar for the 2027-28 school year on the Moore County Schools website for public comment and feedback from January 13th through the 30th, 2026, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
All right. Motion passes 6-1 with Mr. Hensley. All right. Thank you very much. We're at item 7, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Locklear.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, just want to thank our board members for your time and dedication to serving the students and families of Moore County. Nothing else to report tonight. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. Item 8, board comments. Anybody want to make a comment this evening? Ms. Bruno.
Yes, I really want to congratulate Jenny Purvis. I think you have done an outstanding job in all the work that you have done. We are very lucky to have you.
Thank you, Ms. Bruno. Dr. Dahl?
I have a couple of comments based on the personnel report. I want to congratulate Chief Gooch. Very happy to have you in that role. And I also want to say to Ms. Gebhardt, I'm very, very sad that we will be leaving you, but I am extremely grateful, and I'm sure my colleagues are as well, to the inspiration and enthusiasm and creativity that you have brought to Moore County Schools for so many years.
In her pending retirement. Yes.
In her pending retirement.
Yes. Just want to make sure
We've
folks
still
knew
got her.
why we're losing Donna, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Dahl.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Yes, Madam Chair. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Benway.
Yes. During our work session, I delivered a paper on an area I've had a concern with, and I'd like to deliver that paper as well tonight with the indulgence of the board.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. The subject is social emotional learning, or SEL for short. Social emotional learning legislation. I have been uncomfortable with social emotional learning since its inception. Mandated and funded by the NC General Assembly in 2021, the social emotional learning concept in our public schools and the effects of its 13-year journey have remained elusive. The American Virtuous Campus. For nearly 2 centuries, public education subscribed to the Western civilization's chief virtues of prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance to set the standard for the campus environment as well as for individual conduct. None of that worked perfectly, but enough rubbed off such that we didn't have boys stabbing girls in the school parking lot. Our high schoolers were not shot during drug deals. Under those virtues, we did not host a transgender war, nor were kids recruited into the likes of Hamas, Antifa, the Young Communists, or the Marxist BLM. Americans consciously aim for virtuous campuses that serve the child, their county, and their republic well. As the secular state seized greater control over local education, the virtuous campus was abandoned, leaving a vacuum to be filled by whatever ideological fads the state apparatus allowed. Under cover of COVID-19, the same state that induced the year-long break in teaching, learning, and growth during the COVID-19 affair introduced legislation called social emotional learning, but not as an opportunity to restore civilization's most important qualities to the campus. Rather, the state saw a chance to install a funded, pseudo-psychological shell mechanism that this board and parents can neither monitor nor judge. There was little public debate in the General Assembly regarding the intent, scope, or standards associated with this new 13-year classroom exercise in reason control. There was and is no mechanism for informing parents of the state improved reasoning achieved by the student. Prizes for compliance. While I am not a psychologist, I am well versed in psychological operations. Joseph Goebbels would applaud the possibilities of a 13-year state-directed manipulation of childhood emotions. Rather than living the cardinal virtues of prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance, SEL buys the situational cooperation of children by offering a variety of prizes, both physical and social, in exchange for compliance. Every situation seems compromisable in pursuit of compliance. Aldous Huxley's Brave New World is revisited. Collective social efficiency, rather than lived virtue, achieves the state's intent. The notion of doing what is right for right's sake, in the absence of such inducements, appears not to be part of the program. Quote, "What's in it for me," unquote, is a natural learned response that will carry consistently over the course of 13 years of school and into the already narcissistic and self-absorbed world. We are judged by the company we keep. Who is Castle? The proponent of SEL is a Chicago-based organization called the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL, at castle.org. CASEL is supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, donating $10 million, along with large donations by Novo, an affiliate of the Tides Foundation. These are not champions of the American Republic or of Western civilization. In just a couple of years, CASEL has transformed into an almost mom and pop level web presence to a slick marketing facade boasting an array of self-described experts, foreign and domestic, who will guide our SEL efforts into the future. Here in Moore County, in no way am I inferring that our Moore County schools are employing SEL in any malicious way. SEL has been on my list of topics in my visits with principals, and for the moment, I'm satisfied in that regard. But other school districts here in North Carolina and adjacent states are continuing to use SEL as the cover for DEI and CRT agendas. I think this board must look more deeply into social emotional learning, its objectives, its methods, and its effects, which will play out over 13 years of our children's lives. Any program that aims to shape our children's emotions day to day for 13 straight years demands a much better understanding than we have today. It also begs the question as to how a comprehensive 13-year CASEL vision for children's emotions squares with this board's 2-year strategic vision for those same children. I'm requesting this board be provided with all of the originating legislation, directives on implementation by TPI, teacher orientation materials, and the data resulting from the test bed that was conducted prior to final legislation. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Benway. Do we have any other board comments? Mr. Johnson?
I wasn't going to make one, but I think I will now. Speaking of retirement, it made me understand we don't have many more of these meetings left with Dr. Locklear. And I just want to again express my gratitude not only for Ms. Purvis, as Ms. Bruno stated, but also Dr. Locklear and all of his service to the county in developing the type of leaders that we have here, that we're so fortunate to have. It's a lasting legacy, and I will embarrass you at any moment in the next couple months, and just want to say thank you for all that. So,
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Any other comments? No. Okay. Thank you to our board members for an enjoyable, and staff for a very enjoyable and productive meeting tonight. Thank you to our guests for your attendance. Congratulations again to our employees and students who were recognized tonight. We're so proud of each of you, and thank you for exemplifying the quality and dedication of our school district. Thank you to our schools for the board appreciation cards and for, thinking of us this evening. Thank you, Dr. Locklear. Sadly, but it is what it is. Our superintendent search planning steps are underway with BPW Associates. Our temporary safety committee meets on January 16th. Our budget work continues on January 22nd. We will contact our Board of Commissioners, Mr. Johnson, about your suggested joint meetings. I think that's a great idea. Thank you all for being here tonight. We look forward to continuing the life-changing work of public schools with our board members, our communities, and the Moore County Schools team. We are at item 10, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Y'all have a great night. Drive safely.